Every year, 800 million liters of apple juice are produced worldwide. To produce this huge amount, machines harvest more than 100,000 tons of apples from local farms. But how is industrial apple juice made? Find out how apples are processed in factories to produce juice on a large scale. The process of making apple juice starts with the harvest. About 90% of juice production takes place during the harvest season, in October. Since September, when the apples have developed their full flavor, they are shaken from the trees and harvested in various ways. The tree shaking machine grabs the trunk with its hydraulic arm, shakes it vigorously for a few seconds, and the apples fall to the ground. 60 kilos of apples. Most apples for fresh consumption are still picked by hand. But this machine can shake 100 tons of apples in a single day. No problem. It's just one of the local farms that supplies the factory with 100,000 tons of apples every year. The apples arrive at the factory from the local farms during harvest season, and 4 of these huge trucks arrive every hour. It's essential that the apples are fresh and in good condition when they arrive at the factory. The process begins when a conveyor belt takes the apples to an inspection area. A torrent of 90 tons of water causes the apples to fall into 4 water channels. The apples fall in the opposite direction of the conveyor belt, so that leaves and unwanted materials stick to it. The initial inspection discards any damaged or bad apples. After the initial inspection, the apples are sorted according to their size, color, ripeness, and quality. This sorting process helps ensure that only the highest quality apples are used in juice production. Defective apples are set aside for other purposes, such as making applesauce. Once sorted, the apples go through an additional cleaning step to remove dirt, dust, and possible surface contaminants. This is achieved through a water washing process carried out in a concrete, automated manner. In modern processing facilities, apples are temporarily stored in silos for several hours before going through the processing steps. The selected apples are transported from the storage area to a washing station. At this station, the apples go through a series of rollers and brushes that wash them with water. After the initial washing, the apples undergo a disinfection process to eliminate possible pathogenic microorganisms, such as bacteria and fungi, that may be present on the fruit's skin. Once disinfected, the apples are rinsed again with clean water to remove any residue from the disinfectant solution and ensure they are ready for the next step. The washed and disinfected apples are transported to an area where they can drain and dry before continuing the process. Next, the clean and safe apples are taken to the peeling station, where the apples are peeled to remove the skin. This process is carried out by specialized machines that use blades to efficiently remove the peel. Once peeled, the apples undergo the crushing process. They are cut into small pieces in this crusher. Inside this machine, there is a grinding plate equipped with 28 serrated blades that, at 1,500 revolutions per minute, cut the fruit into bite-sized pieces. To soften the puree and prepare it for juice, the mill adds a natural enzyme called pectinase, which creates a chemical reaction. What the enzymes do is break down the cellular structure of the apple, so that when we press it, it releases more juice. During the crushing process, the cores and other inedible parts can be removed. The apple puree is pumped into a powerful hydraulic press. The press is loaded with 9 tons of puree and forces the juice through the 288 filter sleeves inside it. The filter sleeves hold back the peels, seeds, and stems. This allows the maximum amount of juice to be extracted from the crushed apples and effectively separates the solid pulp particles. In the powerful presses, the liquid is squeezed from the puree under high pressure. The goal is to break the pulp cells and release the juice contained inside them. At this stage, the juice is essentially a cloudy liquid due to the presence of suspended solid particles. The puree and the leftover pieces of peel and seeds are heated to produce methane, which is converted into a cleaner and more environmentally friendly energy. Incredibly, apple puree can power 1,000 homes every year. Once extracted, it is piped through tubing to storage tanks, leaving behind the unwanted parts of the fruit. This juice is cleaner and clearer compared to the one from the crushing stage, as it has been more effectively separated from the pulp and fibers. The juice is filtered to remove smaller particles and obtain a clearer product. During this process, adjustments can be made to achieve the desired flavor and characteristics. This may include adding acids to preserve the natural color and flavor of the apple, as well as adjusting the balance of sugars and acids to achieve the desired flavor profile, as well as preservatives to further extend shelf life. The crushed and separated juice is temporarily stored in refrigerated tanks to keep it at the proper temperature and prevent the proliferation of microorganisms. Once cooled, the juice flows through these immense tanks. The next step is pasteurization. The juice is pumped into a heat exchanger. During this stage, the liquid is gradually heated to a specific temperature. Once pasteurized and cooled, it is temporarily stored in refrigerated tanks to prevent contamination and ensure quality. Next, it undergoes a homogenization process. This involves passing the juice through a machine that breaks down and mixes the added particles, ensuring a uniform distribution of the ingredients. The apple juice is now perfectly filtered, and its clarity, taste, color, and sugar content are checked. Since it is produced in October, it must be preserved throughout the year. Part of the production is stored in this warehouse to be bottled over the course of the year. The juice is pumped from the refrigerated storage tanks to the bottling machines. These machines fill the packages with a precise amount of liquid, ensuring that each product has the same quantity. These small packages are filled at a rate of 100 per minute. Every minute, 120 bottles are sealed with pasteurized apple juice. Once the bottles are filled, they are hermetically sealed to prevent the entry of external contaminants. Once packaged and labeled, the products are ready to be shipped to stores and supermarkets. And that was today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.